What up, bro? Welcome to this episode of the Blunt Talk Quick Takes NBA Playoff Recap. I'm your host, Anthony Wright, coming to you from the beautiful and sunny confines of Atlantic City, New Jersey. Wherever you may be watching or listening, I thank you as always. Like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. You can check the Blunt Talk Quick Takes exclusively out here on Podbean. However, if you're looking to catch more episodes of the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast with more features or jam-packed content, you can check the show out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Substack, YouTube, Patreon, and as well as on Trovo. Happy to be here with you guys on this beautiful May 8th, 2025. A lot of NBA content to go over. I actually waited a day from the Knicks Celtics game, which was even crazier, and Thunder Nuggets review, and we got a lot of things to really go over. Cavs, Pacers, so a lot of content to really get into. And happy to be here with you guys again, as always. Before we get started, I definitely want to make sure we give a shout out to one of the friends of the show. If you guys are looking to get, any new, PlayStation players like myself, you're looking to get new equipment or you're looking to get a new PlayStation, maybe you want to add something to the collection, definitely check out in the description box of this video. There will be a link to PlayStation Direct, Sony PlayStation, more than a game. Going into this episode now, guys, wow. A lot to unpack. The game twos, a lot of it was game two, round twos. Some of them were opening night reviews that I have for these round two opening series. Just a lot of content. I mean, it's been crazy between the NFL and NBA. A lot of stuff to dive into and just unpack. So we're going to get into it right now. We're going to start with the most exciting series so far in the second round, which has been Knicks and Celtics. Both games have come down to the wire. I mean, to give you an idea of how tight this series has been, the margin of victory for both teams has been both games combined has been 4 points. So that just tells you how tight the games have been. And it's been coming down to the usual things that it usually does for a Tom Thibodeau coach team, defense and, shot making and being able to create. It's insane how the Knicks have been able to pull out these last few games. But I'm going to dive into the content now, a lot of information why I think why the Knicks have gotten a stranglehold so far in this series, being up 2-0 against the Boston Celtics. First of all, I want to give credit to both teams because I did notice the physicality in game two compared to game one was increased. It seemed like in game one, both teams were filling each other out. It seems like they were trying to get into a rhythm and establish what each team was going to do. It seemed like Cat was kind of in and out of a rhythm. It seemed like, it was more relying on the guard play to really, really win it for the Knicks, which has kind of been the case in both games in Boston. So credit to both teams for being physical and having the energy to show up and to show out for games like this, because these games are hard. I mean, make no mistake about it. When you get to this point in the season, you're talking about playoff games. I mean, it's fucking hard to literally have the energy every night to get up and show out and put on a performance like these guys have. So I want to give my credit there to both squads. Celtics, though. Celtics have a huge issue going on right now. Now, I've noticed this in both games. They've had a big lead at the end of the first quarter. However, New York always seems, and it seems in both games, the second chance points are crazy. It just seems like New York somehow is just out rebounding Boston. They're getting to the second chance points. They're getting to the loose balls. They're doing what's necessary to win these games. And you got to give credit to the Knicks for that. But Jaylen Brown, I do think the one thing that I think that Mazzulla has noticed that he tried to exploit early on in this series, I think he may have to detour from. Jaylen Brown has been the one strong suit for the Celtics. Now, he and Jason Tatum both didn't shoot great from 3-point range in the first game one. I think they were both 5 of 25 combined, which is fucking abominable. But the point is, Jaylen Brown and his matchups has been winning those. I mean, he's literally, ISO ball, or if he's having to drop to the paint or to back a guy down, he's getting whatever he wants. He had it going early in game two, 20 points, 6 rebounds to the end of the game. Now, again, he ended the game 2 of 7 from 3-point range. I'll touch on what I felt like has been a major flaw for him and this team, though, in a second. And again, they jump out to a big lead. Again, 20-point lead. Late in the third quarter, you start seeing the Knicks, they're looking confused and gassed. So it almost looked like, all right, lightning's not going to strike again. They got him this time. This time they caught him. And then all of a sudden, you're just noticing throughout the game the play of Josh Hart. Now, keep in mind, Josh Hart didn't start the game playing like, on fire like he did. It was a gradual progression throughout the game where you see him, the defense, tenacity, he didn't try to start out as a scorer. He started scoring late. Now he ended the game, let's see here, he had 23.6 rebounds. Again, what's so crazy about it is from 3-point range, he was 3 of 6. Crucial. Crucial if you're trying to beat a Boston Celtics team like this. So got to give Josh Hart his credit. He played a vital role last night for the New York Knicks. Also, too, Mikal Bridges. I mean, Mikal Bridges, man. I said it in the first, video recap and all of this stuff. Mikal Bridges has been literally the unsung hero so far for the first 2 games. I know everybody's going to talk about Jalen Brunson, rightfully so, understandably so, but they would not be in this position without Mikal Bridges. 14 points to end the game, 7 rebounds, 2 of 8 from 3-point range. He would like to have shot better from 3, I know, but solid again. Defense, outstanding. Another outstanding defensive performance at the end of the game to close the game out. But the thing that was ironic was both teams suffered with the turnover bug last night. But it's Boston that I've noticed that has had a very, very huge issue with the turnovers. I mean, last night, you're talking about right here, 16 turnovers for Boston, 15 for the Knicks. And that turnover late, with Tatum getting stripped, that essentially cost the Boston Celtics the game. And I don't understand what's going on with Boston. Like, they can't maintain a lead. They can't seem to put the Knicks away. It's kind of weird. It's very weird. I mean, you're watching it and it's like, you clearly are seeing Boston's a better team. They're playing good. They're getting 20-point leads. They're hustling. They're playing defense out. It seems like all of a sudden late in the games, they're trying to play keep away instead of being aggressive. And then also, too, I like the fact that they did calm down all that damn 3-point shooting. There wasn't 60 attempts, this time. But you went 10 of 40. You went 10 of 40. So again, the 3-point shot is just not there. Now, we know at some point it's probably going to wake up for them. Statistically speaking, the averages show out. It's going to show up for them at some point in this series. Maybe it's game 3. Maybe it's game 4. It's going to show up. 10 of 40. I mean, 25%. I mean, like, what the fuck are we doing out here? You cut down those 3-pointers by 20 shots and you still weren't efficient enough to start. You're jacking up too many threes. It's not for you this series. And I don't even think you need necessarily a 3-point shot to win this series. I'm not saying you abandon it. That's insanity. But what I'm saying is you don't need to be as reliant on it. And maybe this is going to show us a lot about Joe Mazzulla's coaching because it just seems like the offense is predicated on the 3-ball. I mean, again, 40 to 45 attempts for a team is not horrible in today's NBA. Whereas weird, though, is the efficiency of the shots. They're not hitting the shots. The first game was an abomination. This game, you're like, okay, they took 20 less shots, but it's like 10, you only hit 10 of them? It's not helping you. It's not helping you. You hit half of those shots, you put this team away by 25, 30 points. So it's clearly things that Boston's not doing, but it's also what New York's doing defensively and the outstanding player, Jalen Brunson. And then let's not forget Karl Anthony Towns last night. He had one of them games. 21, 17 rebounds. And then it's crazy. He didn't hit the sole 3 that he got, but he was the sole 3 that he shot, but he was efficient from the field. He was 9 of 16, so it's 56% from the field. And again, these stats are all coming to you via NBA.com. I implore you to check them out if you want to read them yourself. But it's insanity when you really sit there and think like how Boston is dominating this team for 2 or 3 quarters and they can't seem to put them away. So testament there to the Knicks. But yeah, late in the fourth quarter, when Drew Holiday commits that foul on Brunson, which put him on the free throw line, Brunson hits both free throws. You got a 1-point game at that point. And again, the sequence with Tatum. I bring it back to this. Where the fuck? Like, a great defense by the Knicks to confuse Tatum, to take away the lanes. Where the fuck are we going with that? Like, if I'm Joe Mazzulla and I'm drawing up that play and I got Tatum with the ball, why is it that my star player is looking to pass it off? He's looking to set somebody else up. They're doing too much of this decoy shit with Jason Tatum. It's affecting his game. It's not helping. It's not helping. I mean, literally, Jason Tatum last night, 13 points. Derek White and Jaylen Brown had 20 points apiece. What am I to do with that? I mean, if Jason Tatum just shows up, this series is over. So this really it speaks volumes as to the defense and the tenacity that the Knicks are playing with. And clearly it's showing that maybe, and it's only 2 games, maybe the Celtics might be limited offensively because I'm noticing coaching-wise, they're getting outcoached. They're getting out-hustled and they're getting outcoached. And more importantly, they're not hitting the shots. And when you're not hitting the shots and you're getting outcoached, I don't know, man. But yeah, Tatum's got to step up and be more aggressive. And also, too, it can't be understated that the Knicks have the momentum right now. I mean, obviously going up 2-0, you going to the Garden. I mean, the Knicks, now I will caution everybody because I'll make sure I say this. This is a series, this is the Knicks series to lose. Now, all that I just said about Boston, how well Boston has played for 3.5 quarters and not being able to close out the game, that's a testament to, again, the Knicks doing what they're supposed to win. But make no mistake, you're up 2-0 against this team. If you don't win this series, this is a choke of epic proportions. So we shall see as things play out. But interesting times for the Boston Celtics, and we'll see what happens in Game 3. Going to the Pacers and Cavs. Now, this one, Game 2 will actually be tonight. But this one, Game 3, will be tonight. Not Game 2, Game 3. Apologies. This series. For the first 2 games, let me just say this. Stunners, lack of a better word, stunners. It's amazing to me, again, this is kind of like wash, rinse, repeat with Knicks and Celtics. You're watching a Cavaliers team who, throughout the first 2 games of this series, right there with the Pacers, tough, tenacious, fighting for the baskets, fighting for the rebounds, fighting for the loose balls, shooting the ball. Now, I'll get to where I think that is a problem for Cleveland, but shooting the ball at a high clip, passing the ball, team basketball. Both teams are both relying on this to win games. It is needed. The thing that I don't understand, though, is the Cavaliers, just like the Celtics, have had a huge problem with putting their opponents away. And then in this game, in Game 2, you got the Cavs where they're dominating the Pacers in the first half. I mean, great defense, ball flowing. Donovan Mitchell's playing out of his mind. I mean, everything's going phenomenal for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Pacers were down by as much as 20, and then 9 turnovers in the first half, just weren't playing great basketball, sloppy. Kind of seemed like early on they were playing for the split. It seemed like they were just like, sorry, we probably ain't got it tonight. If we lose, it's okay. The thing is, though, they started close towards halftime. You started to notice Indiana was eating away at that lead. Nothing much made of it. All the hoopla was given to the Cavs for dominating the first half, understandably so. And then you see Cavs continuing this out throughout the game, keeping the momentum. And I mean, you got, again, Cavs did everything they were supposed to win the game. Donovan Mitchell ended the game with 48 points, 9 assists, gutsy effort, gave it everything he got. I mean, he was like injured or tired or exhausted, pretty much more likely exhausted towards the end of that game. And he also had 9 assists. So he, again, phenomenal effort. But going into that fourth quarter, blew the fucking game. So what the Cavaliers did both times, blew the game. The Indiana Pacers, though, credit where has to go to them. The amazing fight and perseverance by them. The bench. Let's just go to the bench in Game 2. You got Benedict Mathurin with 19 points off the bench. Okay, so right there in itself, Mathurin with 19 points, 6 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. But keep in mind, that 19 points, 2 rebounds, they're playing a little bit of defense, but that's what you need if you're Indiana. You also keep in mind, too, outside of Mathurin, McConnell had his 4 points, but again, that's great production from your bench right there. Now you got your starters, Nembhard and Siakam. You got these guys playing, doing what they're doing. Now the lead starts to chip away. It got to a point where you're looking at it and you're like, maybe the Cavs can pull this out. And then, of course, what happens? Nembhard gets that steal. And credit to Andrew Nembhard, 13 points, 13 assists. Tough. Fucking tough. I love the way he plays defense. Just fucking tough. He gets the steal. Next possession, you get Halliburton with the ball, and it's funny because you kind of saw like he was getting ready to pass and he didn't think he was going to be able to take the shot, but he had the space, took it, netted it, and that was just essentially the game. I mean, toughness and grit define this Indiana team, but make no mistake about it, the Cavs are in trouble. Darius Garland not being there, I didn't think it was going to be a huge factor. I knew it was going to be a factor. Didn't realize it was going to be this much of a factor. It's going to possibly cost them the series with the depth on their bench, because you're looking at what the Cavs have here on the bench. And I mean, let's just look at it from here. You know, you had Sam Merrill who gave you 14 points. That's great. Isaac Okoro, 5 points. That's not getting it done. Craig Porter Jr., 2 points. That's not getting it done. Javonte Green, 0 points. You know, I mean, damn. If Darius Garland was there to give you at least 15 to 20, yeah, it makes a world of difference. It makes a world of difference in this series. So it's going to cost them. Maybe it's a gentleman's sweep. Maybe losing 6, but I don't know. If this series goes 7, I wouldn't be shocked. But the way it's looking, I don't know how the Cavs bounce back completely out of this series, completely honestly, because you're talking about ineffective ways to close out a team, bad defense late. Your star player is fucking exhausted by the end of each game because he's giving it all these guys playing. Darren, I mean, let's see. Donovan Mitchell played 35 minutes in game 2. We're going to go to game 1. You know, I mean, he's averaging 35 to 40 plus minutes a game. I mean, it's going to exhaust the shit out of you. And at some point, it's just like, okay, yeah, I mean, come on, man. He played 36, he played 34 minutes, he played 36 minutes in the it just gets to a point where you're like, all right, when do we get this guy's gonna need some help for us to win this series? And they don't have it. They don't have it. I don't know. I told people all year though, this Cavs team was possibly fool's gold. I didn't really trust them, and people kind of like, oh no, you're hating. This is one of the reasons why I kept saying it. And Indiana is one of those teams that throughout the year had their numbers. So people sleep on the regular season and say how it doesn't matter. This is one of those instances where you see it does matter. Next, we're going to go to Warriors and Timberwolves. Now, this one was a shocker on all fronts because, one, we lost arguably the greatest shooter in the game early on, but it was insanity. First of all, when you take into account, one, Warriors win 99-88. You take into account the fact that Steph Curry, 13 points in 13 minutes, efficient, 5 of 9. The moment you saw him grab that hamstring, you knew. And then they revealed yesterday that, he's going to be out for multiple games 2, 3, and 4. I mean, if you want my honest opinion, your best bet is you're going to have to probably win this series without Steph, which I'll get into that in a second for the Warriors, which is going to be very, very hard. But you got Jimmy. So getting into the game, hard-fought game to start. Both teams battled it out pretty well. Like I said, Steph getting injured early kind of affected things. We thought was going to affect things with Golden State. But the key to this game was really Draymond Green. Draymond Green was playing with an edge and a tenacity. And Draymond got that old head game where he ain't going to have, in a 7-game series, Draymond going to give you 2 games where he's going to play exceptional. The others, points production ain't going to be there, but he may have 14 rebounds. He may have like 7 to 10 assists, but he's not going to carry the scoring load at times. But when he does carry the scoring load, Golden State's going to beat you because, for one, in the first half, he alone had more 3-pointers than the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I'm talking about made. He had more made 3-pointers than Minnesota did. That goes into itself right there. And Minnesota had 3 made field goals alone by the second quarter. So that just tells you how bad they were struggling. And Draymond ended with 18 points, 8 rebounds. He was 4 of 10 from 3. So he was taking his shots with Steph being out. Smart veteran move. And Golden State just consistently the whole night just kept bringing a fight to Minnesota. And the Wolves were cold, again, from 3-point range, just like they were at various times throughout their series with the Lakers. 5 of 29 from 3-point range, 17%. Just abominable is a cute adjective. Nuclear fucking dumpster fire. That is what 5 of 29. I mean, like, what the fuck are we doing out there? Are we really even trying to win the game? Like, how is that even, like, I don't know. And then Anthony Edwards. I mean, Ant-Man don't have games like he had. And I know every star player, every great player has these games from time to time where they're going to fuck up. They're going to disappear. It's just not going to be their night. Well, damn. I mean, first of all, in the first half, he was 0 of 8. That's scary in itself. If you're Minnesota and you're losing to a Steph-less Warriors team and your star player doesn't even have a field goal, that's scary. He scored his first bucket late in the second quarter, and that was a free throw. He missed the first one. Keep that in mind. Now, he ended the game with 23 points and 14 rebounds, 1 of 5 from 3-point range. It's kind of weird because again, it's one of those situations where I'm not mad at the attempts that he took. I'm mad at the fact that he didn't produce. And again, 14 rebounds is great, but we all know 23 points. That ain't Ant-Man. And he definitely got to play better than that. And it's all relying on him. The team feeds off his energy. Chris Finch, the coach, said as much. So and I'm pretty sure that's the way it is. So they're going to definitely need him to play way better, which is a theme I'm noticing in the second round. Him, Tatum, a couple guys where it's just like, starting out, they're not, don't really have it. Like you can really see that they're discombobulated a bit. I don't know, maybe still filling it out. But Nas Reed gave him a scare too. He had pulled up a little lame with a hamstring injury. It looked like it was a little tight for him. But he was able to finish the game. He had 19 points. Again, 4 blocks, playing great defense. 3 of 7 from 3, 42%. So you got to give him that, and 8 of 14 from the field. So again, efficient. But they killed themselves with these fucking 3-point attempts. I don't know what's going on with Minnesota and Boston with these 3-point attempts, but it's becoming an epidemic where it's like when you start getting over 20 and they're not falling, how about we start designing plays to possibly set up guys to get 2-point shots, and then from there we'll kick it out and hopefully we can start hitting threes. But all these fucking attempts where it's like, 30, 40, 50 attempts, and again, it's not like these guys are shooting 60 attempts, but again, when you're talking about 30, 40 attempts, 45 attempts, 47, and you're only converting 5 or 10 or 15, that's not going to do it. It's not going to do it. Not in the NBA, not in today's NBA. You're going to get your ass killed. And then wrapping up this recap of the game twos, first of all, the Thunder and Nuggets, this series has just been, the first game was a shocker because, of course, Aaron Gordon hitting the game winner to end the game, putting the Nuggets in a shocking position already, securing the first victory in Oklahoma City, putting Oklahoma City's back against the wall. And we should have kind of gotten a glimpse throughout the year what happens when Oklahoma City's back's against the wall. They come out fighting and they storming out the gates. But I just assumed it was going to be a better game because, what the hell? It's the Denver Nuggets. They're not too far, a couple years removed from a championship. Most of the team's still intact. This team, they came out game one with the effort and energy. There's no way in hell they're not going to have the energy tonight. Oh, they got the fucking doors blown off them. First of all, the score was 149 to 106. That right there should tell you enough in itself. Thunder, even the series. So that's again, self-explanatory. But when you're watching Oklahoma City, you're looking at how they played efficient in the first game. Didn't shoot the 3 ball that well in game one, but played efficiently in this game, played efficiently pretty much in game one. They murdered Denver to start this game. Game two was just a night and day. 3-point shot for Denver was just not there. Now, they ended the game shooting 40% from 3, but it was killing them early. They weren't hitting those shots, and it put them in a hole, which is something I've been harping on throughout these whole playoffs whenever I've done these recap videos. You're talking about taking a large volume of shots, which is taking away from your 2-point opportunities, which puts you in a situation where if you don't convert those threes, you kind of put yourself in a hole and you got to kind of make a run late. Now, I get basketball's a game of runs, but it's not guaranteed that your team is going to get on a run big enough to take the lead eventually at some point. Guys miss shots, shit happens. But OKC came out with the fervor and energy I thought we were going to see from them in game one, coming off a team that had a nice little layoff. And maybe the layoff affected them to a degree. It happens, but, no mistakes. No excuses being made for them. The energy and focus they came out with, clean basketball. They were so fucking efficient. They were shooting 71% in the first quarter. So that just gives you an idea of how, dominant they were playing last night. Denver, the defense was just gone. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they were gassed, tired. OKC came out with more energy than they expected. Their defense was just abysmal. It was damn near non-existent last night. And OKC was killing them from 3, which wasn't there in game one. You saw clearly the 3-point shot was there for Oklahoma City. Now, if I'm correct, Oklahoma City ended the game shooting, and it says here 44% from 3-point range. So again, 3-point shot was there this game in comparison. And just give you a little background too, the Nuggets ended the game shooting 40% from 3. So definitely more efficient, better from 3 than the Nuggets were. Oklahoma City was. And then at halftime, they were up by 41 points. So, damn. I mean, it was bad. And then to put that in context to give you the score, the Thunder, excuse me, had 87 points, which was an NBA record for the playoffs for the most scored by any franchise in a half. I mean, they had damn near 90 points before the third quarter started. What the fuck? I mean, what do we do with this? The game was over. It was up to them to maintain. Now, again, we've seen teams choke. Just hear me previously mention it. We've seen teams choke, but they maintain. SGA is a fucking monster. If he wins this series, he can get that team, to the NBA Finals. I think there's no question that he's the MVP. It's nights like last night where he showed you. Efficient killer, 34 points, 8 assists. He only took 2 3-point attempts, but that's okay. Again, when you have that efficiency from the field, we are 11 or 13, take your twos. He was amazing. He was amazing last night. And then, like I said, Denver's turnovers, that's another thing that I think is plaguing the Nuggets as well. And especially in game 2, the turnovers were insurmountable. I mean, you have 20 of them, which for most teams, you have 12 to 15. That's bad. When you got 20, it's like we're giving the team the ball. You're creating second chance opportunities or points for a team with that. And then, of course, Jalen Williams for Oklahoma City was good as well. 17 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks. And they got an all-around effort from a lot of guys last night because I want to make sure, too, I shout out Jalen Williams instead of Jalen. It's Jalen and Jalen, so kind of get those mixed up. Kason Wallace, too, was also pretty good. He was 3 or 4 from the field, 75%, 2 or 3 from 3. He ended the game with 8 points. Isaiah Joe, 14 points. So Aaron Wiggins, 10. AJ Mitchell, 10. So all-around effort from Oklahoma City. And if they're going to get efforts like that, this series is going to be over in 6 games. I definitely expect Denver to come out with a fight and tenacity like no other, being that they're going to be home. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys. I thank you for always watching. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day.